Hello everybody, here again with Mickey.
Hi everybody.
Mickey's been sending me links. I don't quite know what to make of them. We're going to put this video together and we're going to go through it and talk about it. And it's going to be about mills, certain mills and chimneys and the Roman Empire. That's the only reason that picture's there. It's not really about Putin, it's about the Holy Roman Empire. So let's start the video because obviously we're going to be watching. Well, because what it is this, we're going to be looking at two big buildings, okay? And the names will come up as we go along. And they've got big chimneys. But what it is they don't look like they've been used for heat or anything like that. And it's just all a bit bizarre. And then if you had a mill, you'd want something like this chappy here working away. Going to start faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and so forth. But this is the last working... what do you call it? Vape, not what do you call it? Steam mill going. It's the only one going now, or something. But anyway, I just thought it was very interesting because you can see that then would need to be some kind of engine room. So I find that very strange when we're looking at the buildings that we're going to look at, that there's no engine room. One that you can see. So anyway, we heard it all working, didn't we? Whatever noise it's making, and obviously the wheel just gets faster and faster, and those bits just get faster and faster, and then I think he's going to show us a bit of the mill. So, but again, you know, like when you see how many, what do you call them? Stations. They're not stations. What are they? This is a mill. Yeah. So the stations, you know, where they're milling, weaving. There's loads of them in this room. This guy's just worrying about one of them. I was thinking, God, if 10 of them go, you can't even better cope.
Got hundreds of them going.
Yeah, but anyway, the reason we put this in is that surely one of those mills would have had to have something like this in it. Yeah. Because steam ruled the way for a while. But you don't get the feeling that the chimneys were used for steam or anything. There was no heat thing on it.
No burn marks.
No, so it couldn't have been coal or smoke coming up. So what were the chimneys? We don't know now what the chimneys were for. Anyway, look at that. Look at how many that steam place does. Look at it all. I mean, it's incredible. That thing's what, about 200 years old? And that's if it's not older. Look at how much they can do with that steam engine. Look at it. I think that's quite amazing, personally. Look there, 200. Look how many there are. Look how many they built. Like, wow. Whoever put this in must have had some kind of concept.
Yeah, a good idea.
But then obviously steam didn't work, so we can't imagine that the other mill would have steam in it. But I just thought that was very interesting. Look, he's only worrying about one. What about if any, like 10 break down or 100 break down? How many do you reckon are in that room? 1,000?
A couple of hundred.
Well, I don't know. That's got to be 20. There's probably about 2,000. Wow. But anyway, that was just showing you the last steam mill working in England. And look, I can't remember now, but look at how much effort all this. How many people were originally there doing this? Yeah, like
children as well.
Like, this thing was not just thrown together, was it? It was well organised, don't you think? Well organised. Alright, now we're going on to another video now. Now we're going on to Lister Mill Break. Now this one is quite amazing. We're looking really at the chimney in the next couple. So we think that's red brick. Yeah. But it's just not as red brick as the red brick. Anyway, very interesting chimney. So much sort of graphic, you know, it's very detailed at the top where most people can't see it.
Yeah.
I find that I've always found it weird.
Strange. Didn't build at the bottom.
What do you reckon that was for them?
Yeah, again, it's steam out instead of hot gases, isn't it?
Well, we kind of got. I don't even know if it did that. You know, you wanted him to look chimney, but the next round, and it's very green, whereas that one. So what does that mean? That one's still working?
No. I commissioned a long time ago.
I wonder if that. We've noticed that a lot of flowers slightly lean, don't they?
There's a bit of a lineage to it.
Every single one has a little lean.
This one seems to be standing on its own.
Anyway, what this was is this was a surveillance. We're up there to survey this chimney.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd go and have a look at it. But what is it again, Mickey? Raymond!
Right. Bell tower.
Can't get away. There, that's what you think it is a bell tower.
It's in that style. Yeah.
Got Mickey, we can never hear
It's
you.
in the style of a bell tower, Italian bell tower. And as we go on, we'll start seeing a little bit more of the.
You have to hold it.
The Renaissance. Renaissance. Yeah.
I think what Mickey does is that when we go and talk on this, he just gets quieter. He gets so gentle and quiet. You've got to hold it. Anyway, it's quite pretty in a way. It's quite nice to look at. I'm like, you know, why is it all like that up there where we can't see it?
I would like to know if them windows. Just missed it now.
Do you think that people from the sky would see it? Oh, look at that lovely chimney down from the Zeppelin.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it?
I think we're moving on. I'm not sure what's going on now. I can see a little yellow thing, so usually means I've done something. Ah, now we're at Dean Clow Hill.
Chimney.
Yeah. Again, someone's just done a little video and they're zooming into this chimney.
Now this one seems to be a lot more. It's getting greenhousey inside it.
It's still red brick though. It's just not quite as dark as the other red brick. It looks a bit faded, doesn't it? But it's still red brick. Oh, they said what they like to do is they like to put a lot of metal and stuff at the top of these things. Look, it's got stuck. Is it going? Oh, it's going now. The video just got stuck for a second, but we're on the go again. I just quite like this chimney, but you know, look how different they've made that chimney by putting the very top on it. If they took that off, it's going to look like the other ones. Just it's round. But when you stick those, it looks like a crown. But they could be really old. I don't know. But you see in there that one? It's very green in that one. They're still tall chimneys though, aren't they? See, that one's... Yeah, the other one wasn't like... And you see, that one's got a grill on it. Why didn't the other one have a grill on it? Oh, it's making my feet go funny looking at that.
I've seen a few crowns with chimney pots and that.
But they're probably in brick, aren't they?
Yeah.
The reason I picked it was it just looked a little bit different. But again, it's just, you know, we're quite into... Well, we're sort of into chimneys at the moment, but I also don't like them. I don't know what we're really looking at when we look at some of this stuff. Anyway, I think we're moving on to somewhere else now. Here we go. So, this is the salt mine in Bradford. So, I'm sure I'll bring its name up in a minute. It has one of those.
Yeah, it could be a water station.
Really? That doesn't... What, a pump?
Yeah, like, you know, I think we've seen a few in some parks.
Look at the size of that. And it's like a town, isn't it?
Yeah.
A Roman Emperor town. So these houses aren't Victorian. They're older, they're Roman.
Just got that style.
And we're going to explain a little bit, because a guy made this, and then he built all the houses, and he provided everybody with gas and electricity, which seems crazy.
And sewage as well.
Oh yeah, and toilets. They had toilets.
Yeah.
This whole
Sewage
sort of
system.
village area.
The whole system.
Yeah, but look at the size of the building, and that's not all of it. There's much more of it. That's just a little itty bit of it. Might have to stop the video because I'm sure there's a picture on here. I mean, this place was colossal.
Yeah.
It makes Buckingham Palace look like a blip. It's that big. It was almost frightening seeing it in a picture. Anyway, it's going to go on. Look at it. But again, when you look at it, like a prison or a house.
The ideas we've had for that.
See, on the side of the building it says salts there, because it was a salt. The only salt mill that we can find so far. So there it is on the weir. So what it is? Red brick, but they don't come across that hill, do they? Right, so there's the salt mill. It was, as they say there, it was built in 1853. It's closed now. It took 20 years to build, but it's absolutely enormous. We will see another picture of it in a minute. Every house in the village had sanitation and gas supply. There was a hospital, school, park and church. There was public baths and wash houses. And that's exactly what the video said. So we looked again just to make sure, because that was when those mills were built. But that mill was built somewhere between, well, 1851 to 1872. That was 21 years. But I don't believe that. You can never believe the people who lied to you on their system. Anyway, we look up. Do we look up any more? There's so many questions, and some of them, they don't really go anywhere. So that's the person who owned it, and of course it's closed now with the demise of these mills. I think someone said in the 70s.
Yeah.
That's when the mills went. Anyway, so this is somebody else walking around in that village. And look at the buildings. Roman Empire. And thank you very much to this channel, because he's a bit closer to it. So you can see, like, working on the brickwork, how detailed it really is in places. And of course it's a mud flooder, isn't it? Notice that. Adventurer me. Anyway, he's out with your friend. Who's your friend?
Martin Zero.
Yeah, he's in this video as well. So yeah, and then you notice them.
Yeah, Lisa Lions.
The lions. So this is round the salt mill. I just don't think we've obviously noticed it or even thought that it was that old. Bradford, this place here in Bradford looks lovely, really.
Yeah. Kept out of the dark, isn't it?
There's a whole area with this great big buildings in it.
Cobbled roads, nice.
There's the lion. Right next to the train. There is rows and rows of this building. It's just it's a whole town just in this one building. It's enormous. And then someone bought it, and they had an architect look at it because they wondered if they'd have to bring it down. Oh, but it got saved. Thank God. Yeah. Here we go again. It's absolute, and of course, what is it? Roman. And it's absolutely enormous. We're going to get to a better picture of it in a second. Sorry, I'm just doing my little video, putting bits together. So we've read that. Oh, the reason we stopped here, because Mickey was a bit annoyed because it says that it was inspired by the Italian
Renaissance.
We know it's this. Roman. Quite ironic, really, isn't it? The Romans just seems to be popping up everywhere. Well, that's what we're still in anyway, isn't it? So, yeah. That's the bit that got you. The Italian Renaissance. As if so, oh, I'm going to spend all this money and build it on the Italian style. Or rather, he was obviously a mini Roman emperor or something. They just don't tell us the truth, do they? Ever do they tell us the truth? So there it is. Look at the size of it. It's just... Wow, I think that... Look at that. Just look at it.
Bigger than Alcatraz.
Oh, I can't even get the picture in. Look at that picture. Just look at it. So we're going to stop a minute there. Right. 1, I mean, these are rows, aren't they? I can't even add it. These are. It's all roofs.
It's all conjoined, isn't it?
Look at this. And they said he wanted the biggest mill for this, that, and the other, but that's a whole town in one down there, and they've just forgotten to tell you it's a Roman one. Oh, pretend it's Victorian or something.
Yeah. Expensive Italian.
I mean, look at it. You'd think you're in Rome. It is a bit weird. It's not like you can go to Rome and say, "Oh, look at that British tech, you know." Oh, look, it's all British. Anyway, that's him. You know, older pictures of the salt mill. It did remind me a bit, sort of that.
Crystal Palace.
A bit, maybe not the shape. It's just something about that reminded me of that. Fire took the whole building, leaving nothing. That is just ridiculous. The towers are there, but the building is gone. Ridiculous. That's another lie. Anyway, this place is gigantic. And it's also red brick. And we look at those arches in there. Anyway, we're at another one now. This is Manchester's first cotton mill. This one they said was built in 1873. But, you know, I write on there history. Because we don't know, do we? So a little bit of information. They said that there was 108 mills in Manchester, but we don't know that. Anyway, started 1865. So this was built after that other one that we've just seen. Oh, sorry, this was built before the other one. Get it right, Karen. And it seems really crazy. There's a lot happening up in Bradford. Oh, this one's Manchester, but a lot happening in Bradford. And then this place is in Manchester. And this place is quite amazing as well. Anyway, we'll just look up a little bit of information about... Because this one's cotton, isn't it? This is a cotton mill.
Yeah, it's the cotton mill.
So there you go, and there's the dates again. But they came before the one we've just looked at. The salt mill was built after this.
That's why I have the canal with the water powered.
Yeah.
Same as all mills, isn't it? You need the water power them.
So we're just looking at questions. It'll move on in a second. There you go. There's a picture of it. Look at that thing.
That's a good one.
They're on the top of the building, aren't they? And then this is this building with this really weird observation tower. And then when you walk up there, you walk round the chimney to get to that point there. And then when you look at it, you think, well, it doesn't look very heat damaged or... So obviously he is not going to look in the top of the chimney, but this guy here is a friend of the other one, which we did use a couple of moments in this video, but that's to show that the canal was to the building, which we're going to look at a little bit more. But in there, the cotton mill. In there is the chimney. But now we don't know what that one's for, because it could have been hot, because people would have fried him. Go up to the observation tower. We'll never see you again. You'll be roasted.
Very true.
Don't know.
Singed.
But it's got like a C shape in front here. Like it's a C shape here. And in here, courtyard with a crane on it that runs across.
Yeah.
And then you can get to see... There's a stadium, Manchester Stadium over there. Anyway, look at that. So half this building is accommodation. So it's plush flats. And the other half's derelict. Even though they say it's commercial.
Yeah. It's just to keep it maintained, isn't it?
But thank you, Martin Zero. We've borrowed a little bit of your video, but it's really hard not to when you show it so well.
Yeah, man.
Because obviously we're really interested in all this stuff right now. But look at that. That's when it was derelict and somebody bought it. And turned half of it into flats and the other half looked a bit derelict still.
Like another mud flood.
Oh, is this the one that's mud flood?
Could well be.
Oh yeah, down the bottom.
Off.
Or whatever a mud flood is. Oh yes, this one here. Stop here because they might be down there as well. Yeah, look here. Laurel, 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 laurel. What goes with a laurel?
Hardy.
The Romans. Roman Empire yet again on the buildings. Yeah, so this is part Is this part of the building or just part of around it? I can't remember now. But anyway, we were looking at that, probably taking it for videos. I don't know. It look a bit damaged. Like.
Yeah, it's that old crispiness in it.
That's red brick.
Yeah. Crushing under its own weight. They've been repointed.
Yeah, and this is this tower. I mean, I can't see the point of that.
This is the inside.
It's not like they went up to the chimney from there. Maybe that's how they got to the chimney, through that roof and through the roof and up.
Perfect for a Zeppelin, isn't it? Zeppelin platform. Yeah. Waiting for your Zeppelin to come in.
We'd have a staircase down, and there's no heat damage on that chimney. So you can see this done up where people are living in it, and this side's derelict.
Yeah, that's a roof, isn't it?
And this is by the canal, isn't it?
See that before.
So the canal right there. So obviously it must have been steam or something like that, because it's got that chimney. It'll be coal. So it's got to, these things had to be steam, but they're not talking about. And the first one was a bell, and they call it a chimney.
Yeah.
A lot of metal work at the top of these chimneys as well.
Yeah. I'd want them on it.
How come they're all black and the ones below are red?
That's the what I couldn't tell you.
But again, what is this? Is this... I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is him, because basically where he's stepping out, this part of the building is below the canal. So what they're saying is, everybody says, oh, well, the building was built next to the canal. But I think it's the other way around. The building was built and the canal, this part of the canal was put in afterwards. Anyway, there's the crane. Red brick. Red brick. And there's the canal, see, and the building is down here, is below the canal. So I think it's very interesting, and obviously he's looking at that, but they'll all say this was built onto the canal. I don't believe that. I mean, if they had a problem here, what happens if the came out all over the land and whooshed their project over? The building was built first and the canal was put in afterwards. That's what I reckon. And he's saying it's very windy. That's how windy it is in that courtyard. Yeah, we're at the end of the video now, Mickey, and we've been going for 20 odd minutes. We've finished. Can you believe that? Yeah, 22 minutes. So, as we come to the end of the video, anything you'd like to say? Because obviously you gave me the links for most of that.
No,
I just took bits of video. But I don't know. I don't know if I get such a good feeling with those things with big chimneys. Were they really salt mills and cotton mills, and like millions of people were working in the cotton mills and all that, and there had to be some kind of steam, and that's not really. I just don't get. Were they prisons or workhouses or?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? You know, it could well have been that sort of thing.
Because they're always going to lie. They haven't told you that this is part of. Well, maybe not so much this one, but the other one was part of the Holy Roman Empire. They haven't told you that. Then they're just not going to tell you the truth. I mean, again, you've got to be so organised. Look what they built. I mean, we probably couldn't build things much like that today. It would take years. So it took them, in the last building, this like massive thing, 20 years to build.
Yeah, that was all.
That was all, yeah. It's not just a little building, that one. It's enormous. But this is... It's so interesting. I don't really know what to make of it all. I don't know what is all this, and a lot of them are like, it's sort of, yeah, I don't know quite what it is, mud flood or whatever. Well, I'd like to go in that one.
It's a visit, isn't it?
Like to see it. I feel so sad for all this industry that we supposedly had and it's gone. But you know, when Mark comes across things, it could be things like this that have been destroyed in America, and he's only seeing the rubble of things that were like this. There were cotton mills and that. I mean, when you think about it, and we know that the Romans were here, how do we not know that we were the slaves working in the cotton mills? Because in America, when you were a slave, you were given land and a house and a farm. You had your own life. You just couldn't go to the balls and things. So I suppose you were controlled, but it wasn't prison like they make it. You still had your own life, and you could be white, black, pink, blue, yellow, purple. It didn't matter what colour you were all called the same thing. And it's a bit of a weird word. I'm going to spell Niger. All the slaves were called that. You and me would have been called that.
Yeah, same as the Irish, yeah.
So that's bizarre, how it's been turned round just onto one colour when it was all of us. But then, when we turned up there, we would have been working and getting our own little farms, we'd have had our families.
Yeah, doing the Waltons.
So they weren't shackled. They weren't shackled. I don't know, I don't get it all, but the same thing could have been happening to us. I mean, the size of these buildings, we could have been the prisoners working in there. Anyway, but that's the only thing you're left with. I mean, I've got really got much to say, but it's all a bit crazy. And the other one built a town, so his workers could work there.
Yeah.
I find that really weird. When does your employer says, "Well, I've got you a house as well"?
Wow, cheers, boss.
Oh, it's got toilet, electricity.
Stuff you've never had. Yeah, because you're so poor.
Sounds like immigrants. I love it. I love the house.
From the Italians.
Well, we were all immigrants. And I tell you what, that is the weirdest thing about England. I'm not saying in America they don't get maybe Turkish or whatever goes to, like France, it's Middle East, Middle Eastern countries. You know, they'll always say a certain person will move into their country, but England has them all.
Yeah.
We have Americans, we have Australians, we have Middle East, we have everybody here. Everybody lives here, and do you know what? As I say, we're a narcissistic society, but we're not violent. We live quite peacefully. Imagine how many different people are here, and the only fights are the ones they make up for the BBC News.
Yeah.
We live quite peacefully considering there's different people here.
Yeah.
Well, I think that anyway.
Yeah. Nasty.
But what does it all mean? Are we all just slaves in the first place?
Yeah,
For things like this? Anyway, what's your thoughts about what we've just said? Whether, you know, it is three strays to see such big buildings. But anyway, we're going to finish now because we finished a little while ago, really, and I'm just waffling away. I'll ask Mickey his thoughts. What's your thoughts?
We're going to have to find out a bit more about these places. Yeah. Because they're not, it's like you say, they just don't ring true. Yeah, there's something else
about them. Or is it that you know that you're looking at a Roman building and they're trying to pass it off as something? It was built in 1800s.
There's also that.
And it could have been. But why would they build that? I said to Mickey, why would they build that in 30s and it was all over 80 years later and we'd had the First and Second World War, Tartaria was over, and yet they were building things like that?
No,
it's all crazy.
Also, the red brick. How many red bricks could they make a day to build that building? Also,
don't forget, each one of those bricks is numbered. Because our Melted Reality said all the red bricks are numbered. You imagine you've got to number the flipping things.
Yeah.
You know, 1, 2. No. You have to, because you have to 3, 4. 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they did it. Because what is it? There must be 3 million bricks in there.
Easy.
20 million.
That's what boggles the mind. Because if they say they can only make 1,200 bricks a day now, what can they make now? And
also, our Melted Reality, he said that the clay, what do you think that is on one of our hangouts? He said that's melted brick. The clay is melted brick. And you think, oh my god!
Is that right?
It's hard to work it out. But, red brick, Romans again, double eagles, laurels, rubbish. But some amazing buildings and amazing chimneys. Anyway, we're going to go now. Mickey's fiddling around. Say goodbye, Mickey.
Goodbye, Mickey.
No. Naughty boy.
Sorry, no.
That's alright. Anyway, that's it from me and Mickey. Thanks for watching. What's your thoughts?